What is taxation or tax? I know the mention of this word sends fear to many people across the world. In this broadcast, we are going to examine if a country can tax itself to prosperity. Our focus is Kenya, an East African country that has proposed and imposed several taxes on its citizens. Since President Ruto came to power in September 2022, several taxes have been introduced. These include 16% value-added tax, housing levy, medical insurance tax, digital tax, just to mention a few. President Ruto said that he is making the right decisions. Now, are these decisions good or hot air, as most Kenyans would call it? Let us go to the first question. How many Kenyans pay income tax? A fraction of Kenyans pay income tax. It is estimated that 2.5 million citizens pay income tax out of 15 million people engaged in income-generating activities. Question 2. Why are so many Kenyans not paying income tax? The answer is that they work in informal sectors, which is very hard to document. They include small-scale traders, artisan workers, jokali traders, hawkers, just to mention a few. These people are not in the tax bracket, and the government has done very little to bring them into the existing bracket. This means a few people pay taxes and many don't. Factually speaking, the tax system is faulty. As you know, you only invest in where you can see good results and not failure. I'm talking about corruption that has taken root in Kenya and has channeled the taxpayers' money to few people's pockets. That is why many Kenyans are seeking for ways to avoid or evade paying taxes. The problem is not taxation, but how the same tax is used. Corruption is indeed the biggest problem that makes citizens unhappy whenever new taxes are imposed. This brings us to the fifth question. What should the government do? There is no doubt that for the government to provide you with services and utilities like road, water, education for your children, security, they have to tax you. Kenya Revenue Authority has a good slogan that goes like this: Tulipe ushuru tujitegemee, which translates to English, let us pay taxes to be self-sufficient. Now, when taxes are paid, this does not translate to tangible projects, then we are not heading to self-sufficiency. Instead, we are heading to serious economic crisis. Let me bring what experts and economists think about taxation and economic growth. During the World Economic Forum held in Kigali, Rwanda in 2022, experts agree that taxes will be central to Africa's development. However, the World Economic Forum suggests that good tax system and citizen participation will lead to achievement of development goals. Let me repeat, a good tax system and inclusion of citizens will enable Kenya to achieve its development goals. President Ruto says he is making the right decisions to save the economy from collapsing. We want to remind him that the willingness of people to pay taxes is anchored on the trust on government institutions being accountable and transparent on how the revenue collected is used. The taxes imposed on Kenyans must reflect on the lives of Kenyans. I will end this broadcast with a quote from former US President, the late Winston Churchill. He said, and I quote, "I contend that for a nation to try to tax itself to prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle." End of quote. My name is Hafsa Mursal and this is Jedca Media. Don't forget to subscribe for more news and great analysis. Take a look at these pictures. The sheer suffering, pain, abuse.
The contribution you make in the housing fund is not a tax.
The West is using this mechanism to bully African countries, and bullying must come to an end.